1970s and 1980s, Takaparewhau was the focus of occupations and demonstrations by protesters who were asking the government to return the land to its rightful owners, the Ngāti Whātua tribe, or iwi. Back in 1885, Ngāti Whātua had agreed to temporarily lease this land, or whenua, to the New Zealand government, but the government didn't honour their side of the agreement and never gave the whenua back to Ngāti Whātua. Things came to a head in 1976 when the Prime Minister of the day announced his intention to sell the whenua for a luxury housing development. Joe Hawke, a prominent Ngāti Whātua leader, organised a group who set up camp and occupied the area for 506 days until the government sent an army and police to evict the group. 222 people were arrested that day and their gardens and buildings were demolished. Joe Hawke and his group never gave up on their quest to have their whenua returned. Eventually, in 1987, the Waitangi Treaty Tribunal made an historic decision ordering the government to return the whenua to Ngāti Whātua. Today you can enjoy the beautiful open grounds with their breathtaking views over the harbour and the islands of the Hauraki Gulf. You can also take time to explore the monument built in honour of Michael Savage, one of our Prime Ministers, from 1935 to 1940. This stop, Takaparewhau, or Bastion Point. Hop off here for amazing photo opportunities. Takaparewhau, Bastion Point. This stop. For your safety, passengers must remain seated whenever the bus is in motion, when the bus is stopped at traffic lights, and in stationary traffic. If you are travelling aboard one of our open top buses, please ensure your hands, arms and head remain inside the bus at all times. Thank you. Our next stop will be Sea Life, Kelly Talton's Aquarium. Kelly Talton had a passion for scuba diving that he wanted to share with the world. He imagined building a transparent tunnel on the ocean floor where the public could see the magnificent creatures of the deep from a diver's point of view. This dream became a reality at Sea Life Kelly Talton's Aquarium, our next stop. You'll enter the aquarium through one of its most fascinating exhibits, a replica of the 1911 wooden hut that sheltered a team of Antarctic explorers led by Captain Robert Falcon Scott. You'll experience firsthand the cramped quarters filled with scientific specimens and photographs collected by one of the first land explorations of Antarctica. Nearby, you'll find some of Antarctica's most famous residents, king penguins. Every year, it's a treat to watch the fledgling penguins making their first attempt to waddle through the snow. You may find yourself thinking of the adorable Mumble in the 2006 movie Happy Feet. You'll also encounter eels, sharks, turtles, stingrays, octopuses, seahorses, and dozens more sea creatures large and small. No visit to Auckland is complete without a trip to Kelly Talton's. stop, Sea Life Kelly Talton's Aquarium. Hop off to explore the underwater viewing tunnels and the world's largest exhibit of Antarctic king penguins. Sea Life Kelly Talton's Aquarium, the stop. For your safety, passengers must remain seated whenever the bus is in motion, when the bus is stopped at traffic lights, and in stationary traffic. If you are travelling aboard one of our open top buses, please ensure your hands, arms and head remain inside the bus at all times. Thank you. With so little space in the city, you may wonder why there aren't more buildings on the green space that we're passing now. All you'll see is a church and an urupa or cemetery. Originally, the Ngāti Whātua iwi had a settlement here. However, the City Council thought land was valuable real estate, and in 1952, they moved the residents to state houses on the hill above us. After moving the residents, the City Council decided to burn down the village to remove all traces before a royal visit by the Queen. Unfortunately, only the little cemetery, or urupa, was left of the land that Ngāti Whātua call their own. Today, the area is held in a reserve as a park that can be enjoyed by all. As the lands are considered sacred, or tapu, by Māori under New Zealand law, no one can ever build or develop the land here. Our last stop will be near the waterfront in downtown Auckland. It's the perfect place to enjoy fresh sea breezes over a glass of New Zealand wine.
感谢伟伟让我坐这里，我现在录的好不好？全套的。他们让他不录吗？没有了，没有到。在路上。到了。走过去啊。
renovations have reshaped and added to the coastline, transforming Judges Bay into a tidal lagoon. A few years ago, it was redesigned as a swimming area with a small beach and rafts, along with a picnic area and promenade. It's close to the Parnell Baths, New Zealand's largest saltwater swimming pool. So it's always a hive of activity. Almost every day, you'll see a steady stream of freight vessels. They're a vital link to the outside world. This is an island nation. Anything we don't produce ourselves, we have to import. Huge shipments of motor vehicles, computers and other goods enter the country along this waterfront every day. This is also where our exports leave the country. Billions of dollars worth of New Zealand meat, dairy products and timber ship out of here for China, Australia, South Korea and the United States. Whenever I get the chance, I stroll or jog along the waterfront so I can watch the working port at work. The Māori world, Aotearoa has both a physical and a spiritual origin. Millions of years ago, the land we now call New Zealand rose from the ocean floor. But in Māori tradition, it was the demigod Maui who fished up the North Island, known as Te Ika a Maui, the fish of the Maui. The story goes that Maui pulled this giant fish from the ocean using a magical hook. As he went to get help, his brothers grew impatient and began carving up the fish, creating the mountains, valleys and ridgelines we see today. Their waka, or canoe, which brought them on this journey, became the South Island, or Te Waka o Maui, the canoe of Maui.
快要看到我们的船了。
The ocean surrounds us, isolating us from the outside world. This is one of the last lands on Earth where humans settled. The Māori tell of a bold explorer named Kupe, who discovered Aotearoa, or New Zealand, while chasing an octopus away from Hawaii, the legendary island where the world began. Archaeologists date the first Māori settlements to at least 800 years ago. What moved them to pilot their waka so far from the known world? The same spirit of adventure and discovery you'll find in New Zealand today. More explorers followed, like Abel Tasman from the Netherlands and Captain James Cook from Britain, the Europeans who, quote-unquote, discovered New Zealand. The story of the vessels that sailed here from around the world and the hopeful immigrants on board inspired Hui Te Anaui o Tangaroa, the New Zealand Maritime Museum. It's a fabulous, family-friendly look at our bond with the ocean, from the first landfall to the America's Cup, with historic vessels, artworks, scale models and more. You'll find the Maritime Museum on the waterfront. We are approaching Britomart, one of Auckland's trendiest neighbourhoods. It's named for the HMS Britomart, a British brig that raised the Union Jack over Auckland for the first time in 1840. Now Aucklanders and visitors flock to Britomart for fun. You'll find everything from posh boutiques to nightclubs, yoga studios, bike rental and international cuisine. We are approaching the downtown Auckland waterfront stop. This is your stop for Britomart, the Viaduct Harbour, the New Zealand Maritime Museum and Auckland Whale and Dolphin Experience. Next stop, the waterfront. If you are returning to a cruise ship from here, Walk a short distance to Key Street, but please remain seated until we get to the stop.
其实我在最后一个站项啊，或者是中间有停住了一下。
我都搞不清楚是这一站还是下一站。
照理说有停就可以下。
到了这吗？好吧，就停在这里吧。